on the payment of a few international loans to create opportunities for the people of this country. I do not see that there is anything criminal about that. And I want to say here too, Madam Speaker, that the relationship between Antigua and Barbuda was never ever sullied by the fact that we owe them. The relationship, Madam Speaker, between France and Antigua and Barbuda was never ever sullied because we owe them. So when they tell you that diplomatic relations were sullied because we owe these countries, it is not so. Madam Speaker, they understand what is happening in international politics. They understand the problems associated with developing countries. They understand that sometimes when they lend developing countries, they run the risk of not being repaid. That's just the reality of doing business. And let me say here, Madam Speaker, let me also say here too, that I am not making the case, let me say here, Madam Speaker, I am not making the case for the government not paying its debts. All I'm saying here, Madam Speaker, is that there was an opportunity created as a result of the government's arrears and those debts. And I'm also saying here, Madam Speaker, that the UPP continue to use arrears, the build-up of arrears, as a policy instrument. In fact, the arrears on our external loans, from my understanding, based on someone in the Ministry of Finance who gave me information, is in the region of about $300 to $400 million at this time. And you would have had an increase that would have accrued during the last 2.5, almost 3 years under the UPP. So they have not been paying either. Now, looking at the pillars of development of the Antigua Labour Party, and I hope that the member for Rural East is taking notes. These are real pillars. Pillars of growth and development, not no wishy-washy business. That is why the economy of this country has been so sound. Good quality health care. But of course, that's why we built Mount St. John's, which you have failed to operationalize. And Madam Speaker, when we get back in, we will further modernize our education system to create the University College of Antigua and Barbuda. You know, Madam Speaker, that was on the cards, and after 3 years, they have made absolutely no progress. Instead, I hear the member for St. Mary's North bragging about the hotel training school that was built by the Labour Party. He bragged about Abbott, Madam Speaker, just today. That was built by the Antigua Labour Party. Madam Speaker, the Antigua State College, again, a product of the Antigua Labour Party. And when they're done, they say that we've done nothing. Political spins, Madam Speaker. And by the way, you're talking about associate degree. When we left office in 2003, Madam Speaker, for certain subjects, and I know that you're aware because you're a lecturer as well, for certain subject areas, Madam Speaker, you could complete up to second-year university in this country and spend 1 year abroad and get your full degree. On the Labour, and let me also say this with the University of the West Indies, and let me also say here, Madam Speaker, that starting in January, the State College will be upgraded under the UPP, but as a result of the ALP. It is the Antigua Labour Party that got a grant, Madam Speaker, from the European Union. Why don't you listen and stop making noise, man? Madam Speaker, it is the Antigua Labour Party. It's the Antigua Labour Party, Madam Speaker. Moving along. Okay, yeah. Madam Speaker, the Antigua Labour Party got a grant from the European Union to upgrade the Antigua State College, and the project will start in January of this year. Okay? Now, Madam Speaker, infrastructural development, roads, airport, telecommunications, seaport, again, part of the pillars of our development. And when we get back in government, Madam Speaker, in 2009 or before, and by the way, we may leave you a speaker. Notice I said me.
That's so big of you.
As I said here, you should anyway. Madam Speaker, yeah, it's okay. Yeah. Madam Speaker, tourism and financial services were the mainstay under the Antigua Labour Party. And when we resumed the governance of the country, on or before 2000,